everyone, and welcome back to Rebook, the show we talk about big, meaty men and women who be slapping the meat and the stories they tell in the process, brother. I'm, of course, GB. You have Matt. Whoa, that's you. That's me. You have Matt. There's Matt. There it is. Look at him, looking all nice. And you have Jake. Okay. Oh, wasn't ready for that one. I was not ready for. Are you trying to make love to the camera, Jake? Okay.
There's no trying.
I can't help it.
Yeah, it's natural.
Been done.
It's done.
We're back. We're back at full strength. Thank you to our viewers for the patience regarding the episode. But shout out to Jake and Matt for getting it out in my absence.
Barely.
You guys got it over the finish line. Man, that's all
Shout out to Jake's friend.
Yeah, Jeremy
audio
Cohen, my
saved
buddy
the
Jeremy
day.
Cohen, who came through in a pinch. I was like, I'm going to send it to Jeremy.
Yeah.
See if he can do any technical wizardry on it.
Damn. I mean,
he
good
did
work.
enough to make it work. Yeah.
Man, pretty dope. So thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that. And thank you to everyone for, supporting the show. Obviously, I was away for that week because I had to go see family and meet my nephew for the first time, which was really exciting. So that was a good time. But, as always, the show must go on, as they say. We did have some fun comments regarding some of the predictions you guys had laid out. One of them actually came from Nam Dio Duazu, who says, I think you guys were spot on with the point about AJ and Bailey. I don't think it was a coincidence that Bailey's new vignette aired right after a promo segment with AJ being candid about her mental health journey. AJ could be key to Bailey finding herself again and getting her groove back. Oh, I kind of like that. I like that theory. What do you guys think?
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah.
I mean, we saw the evolution of it a little bit this past week on Raw.
That's right.
Not only Bailey was wearing an AJ Lee shirt on Raw, and we saw, and I don't know if we're going to discuss this later because I don't think there is a WrestlePalooza match tied to her yet, so may as well. But the Bailey split personality gambit has truly begun. We've seen it like actually manifesting in real time. So I'll be curious to see how that's handled. And I mean, who better to know about being a little crazy than the OG AJ Lee? So
I think that this is we haven't had a character like this for a minute. You know what I mean? Like someone that dived into the the wackier side of things, right? Like when you had what's his face, Mick Foley doing it back in the day. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Bray Wyatt.
Well, for women, for sure. Yeah, I guess. I guess Bray Wyatt. Yeah, I guess. Yes, you're right. Bray Wyatt, without a doubt. I think what it was that Mick Foley's, he had like the distinctive versions that were so separate. He had so many more. When I was like Bray Wyatt had like the character that transformed into the Fiend. But you're right. We did have that.
Yeah, split personality. That's what Bailey's doing. A little bit of the Smeagol Gollum thing, where she's literally talking to herself, in two different voices and stuff like that.
Her style at all, like her wrestling style? Should it or? Well,
it did already. Again on Monday when she made the save, she started busting out. NXT 2015, 2014 Bailey. Literally, she did the old shoulder tackle with the wacky waving. Before she hits the Bailey to belly, which she hasn't been using lately. She's been using that overdrive gimmick. Yeah. So like when she's in that mood, she literally wrestles like Hugger Bailey. Yeah. And then maybe in the other mood, she's gonna hit a lot of her more heelish stuff. So
I would love to see that. Just her wrestling two different styles depending on who else kind of did that was the man formerly known as Abyss.
Oh
yeah, there was a bit that he did in TNA for a while where he played Chris Park.
Yep,
the normal version, and when he saw blood, he became Abyss, which was cool as fuck. I loved that.
Yeah.
Also, Festus.
Yeah.
Which one was Festus again? It's been sorry.
The origin of one good brother Luke Gallows when it was
Oh,
Jesse
that's
and
right.
Festus, and
Jesse
he was like inept until the bell rang, and he turned into a monster and beat
Yeah.
people up. And then the bell rang, and he just went back to being they didn't explicitly say, but like Sling Blade. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just kind of like, yeah, what a wild character.
That is, yeah, I'm even seeing some pictures here of them back then. Okay, interesting. Wow. All right,
And
that's
Jesse's a second generation superstar too. Never really lived up to Daddy's legend, but
father's
wild hair.
Terry
Looked like a
Gordy.
Festus.
Father's
yeah,
Terry
it's Terry
Gordy.
Gordy's kid.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. Dang. That must be hard though. I mean, especially for that era, you know, like that era was so profound for a lot of people, and then coming out of that, you know, wrestling also entered
sure.
like some weird transitional periods where it was like I was telling someone about this the other day. You had like wrestlers back then who like made you believe that they were the athletes that were doing the things, and they were, don't get me wrong, but it was like grounded in a more sports-like mentality. And then like, you know, you had the transition over to like the more comical, colorful characters, you know, the Hulkamaniafication of everything, you know, it's just very fascinating. And a lot of wrestlers there, I'm assuming probably, you know, they had to find the character. Like, what was the Rooster? Who was the Roosters? Wasn't he related to someone?
Terry Taylor. What do you mean? The Red Rooster?
Yeah. But it's just, you know, like characters like that, you know, where you have to have the Red Rooster, or the Texas Tornado, you know, which I loved the Texas Tornado back then as a kid.
Hurricane and Shane Helmsley. There's another split personality. Arguably.
That's right. That was a good one too. Yeah. Well, we'll of course be seeing what happens with AJ. We'll talk about all that stuff in a little bit. But before we do that, I did want to talk about something that we're going to be doing for a little bit, because we're going to be taking
It's good to be back, but bye-bye. We're going
We're going to be going on a little bit of a break. I have Valorant Champions coming up in Paris, and I'm going to be away and working a lot, like after All Out. The 22nd, I fly out, and usually I'll do the show from abroad, but I'm hearing that our internet situation at the hotel is not great, so I don't think I'm going to be able to even get the shows out at the quality that I would like to. And I know, Matt, you said you're going to be away, actually.
I'll be traveling the next few weeks too, and everything like that. So yeah, it actually comes at a
we're gonna be a little busy, a little crazy. So that means that we will be taking a bit of a break. This will be the last episode for a while. And it's a loaded one, so we're gonna be talking about a lot of cool things. So you know, you guys could enjoy that for the time being. You know, if you want to keep up with us, though, best way to do it is to join our Discord. You can find a description down below, like the link for the Discord. You can also check out rebookpod.com. There you can also find a link to the Discord to join us there. And we'll try and, like, if anything, you know, maybe upload some like shorts, like more custom shorts with Scan. We kind of tested that the other day. I did like a reaction to Dom winning because he's now Dom Dos belts. So
hell yeah.
We were talking about that, and we did a video for that. So, you know, we'll be trying more of those, like quicker, you know, kind of giving our thoughts. So if you want to stay up to date with what's going on with us and Rebook, best way to do so, Discord. You'll find out there first when we come back. We'll be back in October, and as we get closer to the date, we'll let everyone know, and hopefully come up with some new ideas, new segments, maybe a new look. Just try some stuff out and see. And if you guys have any ideas or ways you would like for us to improve the show, make it a little bit better while we take advantage of this time in the break, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. I'm always open to ideas that, you know, give us a fun show. So not much else to say regarding that, but that is the news. So once again, Rebooked will be going on a little bit of a hiatus, and we will return in October. For more info, make sure you check us out at rebookpod.com. So with that sad, somber, well, not sad, it's you know, we're going to be back, okay? But with the news that we're going to be gone, don't worry, we got you covered because we have a loaded show. And of course, thanks to WWE, we quite have a loaded weekend of wrestling that just so happened to be on this September 20th. Who would have thunk it? Oh, not I. Wow, that's crazy. That is nuts. So let's go ahead and talk about it, because this week WWE is debuting a new pay-per-view called WRESTLEPALOOZA, and it's going to be on ESPN, and it's going to be expensive as hell to watch it. But hey, It's then now you can watch all the pay-per-views on ESPN. So just
unless you have, you don't need. We should hit
how
the
do I clarify?
advertise.
Clarify. Yeah, just
We don't need
for the sake of it.
ESPN. You just need VPN. Because then you can sign into your already paid for Netflix in Europe and watch it for free.
Ah, that's right. Shout out.
You know
to,
who taught me that? Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, that's actually insane. That
It
was
was
a thing.
really funny.
I don't know if people know that words matter anymore. You know, like I guess words don't really matter that much anymore because people just say things like the fact that someone could say that and it would be like, oh yeah, that is a viable method, kind of just makes the whole deal moot. But anyway, that's whatever. It's called WrestlePalooza. That's the name of the event. Obviously, the very young, hip, and cool Lollapalooza was the inspiration for this, right? I'm assuming. But what other famous paloozas were there? I haven't been to a palooza in my lifetime.
I don't think I live in Chicago. I've never been to Lollapalooza, and
That's
I
in
never
Chicago.
will.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
And I mean, I feel like I've always seen paloozas on like Saturday morning cartoons. Like the kids would go to like Skate-a-palooza or like, I don't know, Surf-a-palooza on, Hey Arnold or something like that. But like, I don't know. It's a silly word. It's a silly wordification because palooza is not a word on its own.
Yeah, I'm looking up
it's
anything that
it's
uses
a suffix.
palooza, and I'm seeing a lot of like Lollapalooza, obviously Kids-a-palooza, Pack-a-palooza.
Never heard of that. Never heard of it.
Coffee-palooza.
Sure.
There's
It's just a palooza, man.
There's Puzzle-palooza as well. That sounds like a fun time. I'd go to a Puzzle-palooza. Teach-a-palooza, which that's
is
what
the Palooza
educators
pizza
do.
here in.
That's where you learn how to make a palooza.
Wait a minute, Sex-a-palooza. Oh snap!
I would definitely do that.
Will we now? Okay, and then get ready for the most salacious palooza of them all, Health Data Palooza. Oh yeah, Health Data Palooza.
Yeah,
really going up there. And there's a Wine-a-palooza as well. So I guess we're in good company.
When are we having rebooked palooza?
Rebook palooza. Yeah,
rebook palooza.
We got to do it. Everyone's just got to have a palooza.
The unified rebooked palooza.
24/7 unified rebook palooza.
Unified
I'm
rebooked palooza. Fit that on a shirt. I love it.
Funny name aside, we do have some decent matches loaded up on this card. I'll find the graphics for them, but we'll start with our first one because this is going to be a part of the John Cena retirement tour. This particular show, and we're going to get Brock Lesnar going up against our dear friend Jonathan Cena. Let me see if I can find this graphic here. How do we feel about this match? I honestly it's very clear that it's just a match, and that's basically it. Anything coming out of this, or any predictions? Any bold takes anyone wants to give?
Cena wins.
Yeah, nothing bold.
Winslow.
I think this is vanquishing a opponent Cena's always had a hard time beating throughout his illustrious career. Of course, the infamous Suplex City was invented at the expense of John Cena. Once upon a time, stuff like that. So this is just a marquee match. There's no story laid out. I mean, literally just kind of popped up a couple of weeks ago after SummerSlam, and they haven't even been in the same ring together.
Yeah.
So it's just outside of assaulting John's little brother Ron on SmackDown, then there really hasn't been too much personal here. And yeah, I think it's a tentpole match on the retirement tour. John Cena can finally, vanquish the beast he's had a very, very difficult time vanquishing in the past.
I like that when they were cooking up how they would build this, they were like, what would be good? John, you have a brother, right? It's like, yeah, I do. What's his name? Ron Cena? Oh, that's great. That's perfect. Actually, great naming convention. Amazing. Come on. Let's go ahead and do that. Brock, this is Ron Brock. So you're going to beat him up, and that's going to create drama. Okay, great. And then then they do it. And
remember when they rehired Truth and said he said he wanted to be taken seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It's just I don't know.
What a great week that was.
I mean, I love entertaining Truth. Like I love ha Truth. He's very entertaining, but it's just kind of funny.
Come on, here we go. Come on here, do the thing again. I don't know. But it's cool though. I mean, you know, it's going to be a fun match. Like we'll see some suplexes. If you like Brock Lesnar matches, you're going to enjoy this.
The one thing I will give, whenever they have a marquee Brock match, is the one thing you can always bet is they are always different. They don't run the similar formula of like shine, heat, comeback, false finishes. They usually kind of jump right. They might hit a finish in the first 5 seconds. Yeah. They might brawl into the crowd. They might both hit their finishes and like kick out at one. Like it's always a weird, different kind of pattern because he is a different kind of athlete. So it'll be a marquee moment. It'll be a marquee like matchup, but like I'm not really invested.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what? We'll see what unfolds from that. Predictions, though, we're going Cena. Yeah, Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a reason why not. For this one, I'm expecting a damn banger. It is going to be our women's world championship matchup between Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. You know, I think that they've just kind of had some conversations and back and forths, right? I'm pretty sure haven't had a chance to watch, but I'm assuming it's just been like mostly just like, I want to win. This match is going to bang. So that's basically it. I think Stephanie Vaquer wins so that they can like start a new era with the title, get some new contenders up there. But I also wouldn't be opposed to an Io Sky winning again.
Yeah.
But I think Stephanie is probably the right choice. In this
the way they've been setting her up, the way they've been kind of really hyping her up, but even despite the kind of roadblock of what they thought they were going to do at Clash in Paris and, you know, the pregnancy with Naomi and all this stuff, a lot of things seemed like it got thrown in the wood chipper like in the span of a few weeks. But getting back on track, they've really been hyping her up. Like this past Monday on Raw was a big kind of highlight for her, just kind of really bigging her up. And it's just two babyface, respectful warriors matchup that I think sees a new champion.
Yeah, I think, and also too, it just kind of gives some added adrenaline, some a little kick in the bum for this division and for that belt, you know, because it needed it, you know, which is perfectly fine. So exciting. I think we're all agreement on the same page on that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have a let me see here. We have a fair amount of tag matches for this. We have 2 tag matches.
Hold up, really quick. I do want to, before we move on, and I know I'm prolonging it, but to throw a little bit of wet blanket on Stephanie Vaquer, to throw a little bit of water on the fire potentially.
Okay, wait a minute.
Maybe a little bit of a hot take, because they did kind of they have been teasing this stuff, and they really again did it on Monday as well. But like not crazy over the top. They've teased some tension with Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer, and a little bit with Io. So like I'm wondering, like Io came out to stop Asuka from confronting Stephanie Vaquer. So I'm wondering if there could be a scenario where maybe Asuka costs Vaquer the title for Io, but maybe Io's unaware. Like Io's kind of knocked outside. Asuka does something. Io comes to and is like, "Oh, here we go, moonsault." And then later realizes like, "What the hell was that? Why did you do that?" And there's a little bit of a rift there. There is a world. I just want to, just in case it happens, so we can make a short making it look like we predicted it. Here we go.
I'm okay with that.
And edit point.
I'm okay with that. I think that is a completely fine and fair angle to take. And it also just puts new characters in the crosshairs of this division in a different way that hasn't really had much of an opportunity to do so in the past. So, yay. I'm okay with that. We'll see if that works out. Maybe we get a 5-star match with some shenanigans. Row. That should be fun. We have a couple tag matches. So we'll start with I'll argue the least interesting tag match, which is going to be the Usos versus the Brons. And that feels weird to say. I'm going to be honest with you. feels a little odd to say, because this reunion of the Usos kind of came like really fast, but it in a similar way to Edge and Christian, Cope and Cage over in AEW. Sometimes these things kind of just need to come together quickly. So that's just the nature of it. But considering that, Seth Rollins has been so predisposed with all the other stuff going on, Jake, it does feel like the Vision's in a bit of a wonky space right now. And one could argue that the Vision needs a win, I would say, right? Do you think the Vision could use this win against the Usos here?
I mean, yeah, I think they could. I mean, they already had one at the last pay-per-view over Roman and Us. But I think that they could, and I think it will be better for whatever this story is that we're telling for Jey Uso right now. I think it's more interesting if he loses. But I mean, I don't think it's that shocking if the Brons win anyway. I feel like, this is something Matt and I discussed last week when you weren't here. But we we kind of talked about how they have been their own formidable threat without Seth in the picture, because he's been dealing with Punk and AJ Lee, and they have kind of come into their own as not just the protectors or the bouncers or the muscle. Like, they have their own personality, and it's been entertaining to watch. I still think that they should get the win. Mostly, like I said, I think it's a better story if the Usos take the L here, because, like, sure, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They're brothers. They got this innate chemistry, but maybe it's been a while. Maybe they're a little rusty. Maybe they're not on the same page when in this match. And I can see Jey doing something out of character for him that could ultimately cost them the match.
Yeah.
And the big thing, though, is in this match, you have to remember, there's not also in the background, there's not an X factor. There's a factor at play as well.
Good point. Yeah.
Because there has been a lot of tension the last 2 weeks. Jey dropped LA Knight the week before. This past week on Raw, LA Knight repaid that favor. I saw some idiots out there being like, did LA Knight turn heel? No, you morons. It's just getting payback for when someone dropped you. These are still two complicated baby faces, but they're still very much, I think, on the good guy side of the paper. But there is very real tension here. So I can't imagine LA Knight is a non-factor in this match. He seems too close to the whole situation the last several weeks anyway.
Yeah.
So again, maybe this is a little bit of the inverse of what I thought might happen with Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer, where instead of he might come out, try to let bygones be bygones, but again, that tension's going to get the better of them and cost the Usos the match in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you know what? You guys, I was going into it not as compelled. You made me compelled. That's
why you got to listen to Rebooked every week.
That's right. We're storytellers. Right. We're hype men. We're,
I do wonder.
That seems to happen a lot on this show, where we're like, I don't care about this match, and one of us is like, this might be fun, and then everybody else is like, bro, that would be good. It would be really cool.
Hey, it's all about hearing ideas, right?
Exactly. And being open to them. What a novel concept.
I know, right? Crazy. I do wonder what becomes of LA Knight. Where he's going, where his ultimate trajectory leads him to, because I just feel like he's so primed and ready for a title run of some kind.
But he has been for 2 years.
There's too much traffic. There's just too much traffic, and it's like, is this like what it was like watching Booker T back in the day, when you're like, dude, he's so popular, he should be a champion, and then every time he gets close, it just doesn't happen. Like, I don't know, maybe, but one would hope, and also what this means for Jey and Jimmy, right? Is this one-off for the both of them, right? Do we get this a little bit more often? The Usos back together again? Is this like,
are we going to flip the script where Jey is heel and Jimmy's a face?
Hey, that could be interesting, especially because we haven't had Jimmy get his opportunity yet, and it seems like crowd's been very much into Jimmy regardless, because he's just been such a stalwart in WWE for so long. So yeah, interesting. All right, I'm in. Damn you guys, I'm in. This is a big one, and we're very excited for it. It's going to be a mixed
maybe
tag
until
match.
one of us convinces the other two that this is going to suck.
This one's going to suck. And let me tell you 5 ways how. No,
I don't care. No, yeah.
No, this one's going to be great. It's one that we thought we would never see. So enjoy it while you get it, you know. It will be Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch going up against AJ Lee and CM Punk. Wild that this is even a thing. But you know, cool nonetheless. Anything that we learned, because I didn't get a chance to watch Raw yesterday, anything more that we learned going into this one, fellas, that you know, kind of adds wrinkles to this? I know that there was the Bailey of it all. We had talked about that with, you know, maybe there's a little bit there, but that seems separate of this situation.
Yeah, I think that'll come later if anything happens there once this issue is resolved.
Yeah. Anything here though, in particular, like this does just feel like a great way to kind of keep them engaged with one another. But again, like, is this leading to CM Punk becoming world champion? Like, that's what's so compelling to me. You know,
it has to. I feel like you have to pay off the cash in. If you don't, it feels real strange. Especially with everything they've done with Punk to like he lost the he was in the main event, but then he lost at WrestleMania, right? And he got his fucking heart broken. And then he finally wins a world title on a big, and it's stolen from him. You have to give this character a big, decisive platform win, and I feel like it has to have the championship of some kind involved somewhere. I don't know.
I think
I'm shocked that we don't have some sort of, I'm shocked that we don't have like the titles tied to this match in some way where it's like, okay, if Punk and AJ, if you win, we'll give you title shots.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. And if we win, you go away forever kind of thing. I'm surprised that there's not some kind of
stakes on this. Yeah.
It's kind of
surprising. Could have done that.
Think about it like this, right? This is where I think this kind of goes, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't really care either way. So CM Punk has a rematch. WWE likes the whole contractual rematch clause, right? Did he use it yet? Or did he have a one-on-one with Seth Rollins?
No, I don't think they are currently.
It
always changes.
Clause has been iffy. It's been iffy for years.
They haven't used it in a long time.
I mean, but you know, to your point though, he lost it. You know,
maybe there's a time limit on the.
You know, maybe I don't know, right?
You have to have been champion for 24 hours,
maybe, right,
to be able to react.
I guess the only reason why I'm mentioning that is because I think the more like we know that Punk is going to be on a collision course with Rollins, like that's bound to happen. I think it's more compelling if AJ gets the pin onto Becky, thus starting AJ challenging Becky for the Intercontinental title, which, you know, kind of jumps her into that, and then they can have a couple singles matches, and then Punk and them can go back and have their problems and their qualms, right? That would be the way that I would see this, because one of the champions has to get pinned, and I don't really see it being Seth Rollins getting pinned, and I think Becky Lynch getting pinned is okay, especially to a returning AJ, who is more of the attraction in this match than the other three competitors. You know, not like to disparage, but just like, you know, it's fucking AJ Lee.
No, but it's her first match.
It's a huge return. And
yeah. So that's why I think it's going to be that. And that's why I think we'll get AJ Becky squaring off the IC title. That kind of like clears out a little bit of the division for right now. You know, you're going to have Lyra probably squaring up, Bailey being tied into that too. Who knows? Has there ever
been a situation? I'm not advocating for this necessarily, but I just thought about this.
A way to start
has there ever been a singles title on the line in a tag match?
Yes,
there has.
Yes.
Which one?
I know. So for sure, back in So they've done it. I remember in 2000, they did the 6-man tag with the McMahons and Triple H versus Kane, Rock, and Taker. Where if somebody pinned Triple H, they won the title. And I believe that's where they switched. And then they also did something similar with the 2-man power trip, I think, where it was Hunter and Austin versus Kane and Undertaker. And 2 of them had like singles titles, and the stip was like, if one of these guys gets pinned, you win their singles title in this tag match.
Oh yeah,
so there was a little bit of conflict. They've done it before too. Yeah, it's been a long time.
What do we feel? What if we did that for this match? I mean, that would have been huge. That would have been a huge market thing. I don't know. I mean, that feels like something that needs more build than a sudden pay-per-view on.
Yeah. It would be tough to add right at the end. And you would. I do feel like you would need some impetus for you need stakes on both sides, because that puts the champs at an absolute. Why?
100%. Yeah,
we could lose a title.
Just what a fun dynamic that would make in the match and also out of the match if like Becky and Seth lose. Like like that. I don't know. That would have been that could have been a fun thing. But yeah, you don't do it now. But it was just something that came to mind. I really am shocked that there's no kind of stipulation involving anything with this match. Like that surprises me.
It's just the match.
That really surprises me.
It's just the match. Well,
AJ, I'm not upset about it because we're getting the match, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So AJ gets the pin onto Becky. That's what we're thinking.
I think so.
I don't think.
Is there any world where Seth could take the pin from AJ? Is there any world where that could happen?
I would love that.
So I don't know what their current stand. They don't do a ton of mixed tag. So obviously the general rules in WWE is anytime a man tags in, both men are legal. Like they do it that style where it's like there's no interaction wrestling wise between the genders.
And I think it's
that
just
said, though,
beating the crap out of each other outside the whole time.
They have toyed with that. They did a little bit with Seth and Becky versus what was it, Corbin and Macy, and several years back. Macy Estrella, or Lacey Evans at the time.
Lacey Evans.
But so the more and more modern we get, WWE is still dragging their feet on it. You might get a little bit more considering all the personalities involved. I feel like you will get, even if it's not
AJ
like
would be a
legal
wrestling
to do action.
That with.
Oh,
yeah.
She would.
Because then that could even lead to some arguments of like, she wasn't the legal competitor. That's not a real win. How did it, and it can set up something. Yeah. I mean, there's so many fun directions I think this match can take.
Yeah. And I hope I'm
excited about it.
I think this is going to be a good one. I think it's going to be well worth the time. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. And yeah, I think overall, like, where they have like a pretty good card for a show that's, again, and just not to beat around the bush, was just made for counter programming purposes against AEW, which is super freaking weird. And I just don't care about that. So, for them bringing this one kind of together very quickly and cobbling it up, overall pretty fun show. I think you should watch All Wrestling if you have an opportunity to, because it's great to watch All Wrestling. And that's what I will be doing that weekend. But I'm also very excited for AEW All Out, which we will be talking about later on. We have one more match to talk about. And this one, I'm compelled. I'm compelled. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be our WWE Undisputed Champion. He's finally going to be in a match, everyone. It's going to be Cody Rhodes going up against Drew McIntyre. Look, I'm going to say it. Bold, hot take. Give it to Drew right now. Just do it. Just give it to Drew. You don't need Cody to hold the belt much longer. Just give it to Drew. That's my take. Fellas.
Ooh, that's a spicy take. I don't hate it, though. I mean, I think Drew has been a little overdue for something like that. And considering, his last couple of title runs have all been asterisks. I mean, there was the pandemic win, and then there's the Seth win immediately cashed in on. Like, he just hasn't been able to have a solid. So even though I don't feel like Drew's momentum is at the level that it was, off of the Punk feud or when he was a babyface during the pandemic. They kind of missed the boat on that, but he has been still performing great, and
He's still
it
Drew
is Cody's
McIntyre,
second run, right?
you know?
So like
Yeah.
it's not like it's his first marquee run, so it's okay if he holds it for a month. You know what I mean? To your point. So I don't know that I agree that it
Yeah.
will,
I
but
mean, you
I'd be
also
here
don't
for
have
it.
to do it here, but I do think he should get
I
that
think so
belt.
too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, I don't think they have the balls to do it on Saturday.
I don't think so
yeah.
either, but yeah, go
because
for it.
because again, I know we focus on the storytelling aspect of things, but like you also have to look at the extenuating circumstances. This is the first pay-per-view on ESPN, and I feel like Cody Rhodes is the kind of wrestler
He's
they
still
want
very much the
representing
face.
themselves. He's still very yeah.
Mhm.
So that's why I think that he's ultimately gonna come out of this thing still champion.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, as a wrestling fan, yeah, I want Drew to have his moment. He
Yeah.
still hasn't had it. He's had the championship twice, and both
I think
times
he's gonna get close. Have we resolved the issue with him and Damian Priest? Is that solved business? I'm assuming.
Solved
I mean,
is always
when they fought for like 9
Yeah,
years?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
if they just like move on from that, I'm assuming that like they're done, right? Because I'm just wondering, like, how do you? I don't think this should be one and done. If Drew loses, I think Drew should circle around this title picture for he's Drew McIntyre. I think he
Mhm.
more than enough deserves to circle around the title picture.
so.
Mhm.
Go for it.
Give me the graphic.
Oh, fantasy booking, brother. Hit him
A
with it.
little bit. So we have a little bit of time still before this event goes down, but Survivor Series is coming up in November, and they don't always do it. You know, sometimes it's all highlighted by War Games. Sometimes maybe they do like interbrand, you know, champions versus champions, you know, Intercontinental versus US title, women's Intercontinental versus women's US title would be fun to do now that we have those. And so there might be a world where we have world champion versus WWE undisputed champion. And what a world it would be if between now and November 29th, CM Punk conquers Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre beats Cody Rhodes, and we have just a little smidgen of a throwback to one of the best feuds of the past couple of years with championship reputations. Probably not the titles themselves, but just that
definitely would be one of those.
renew that
And with a Survivor Series match, like that's worthy of
that's a
being
big
at Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Where they
big
both
marquee
pick
match.
teams.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking just one-on-one. Champion
Oh,
versus
I thought they would both.
champion.
That
because
works
that's
too.
what Survivor Series used to be, right? Used to have like, you know, the champion versus
SmackDown
champion
versus Raw
matches,
champions.
SmackDown versus Raw.
That's true.
I would
That's
like for
true.
them to revisit that, and I think they have the roster
It just
to do
yeah,
it.
like a one night only, you know, right?
Yeah.
Throwback to one of the nastiest feuds
Yeah,
in the last several years, kind of thing.
and you
but
can
now
have
they both
you can
are
have Punk win
leaders.
that, you know, and then Drew just goes on a freaking spree, like, you know,
Sure.
pissed off because he lost, like kind of like what happened with Gunther. You know, when he lost that and that whole like crown jewel whatever match. Anyway, yeah, that would be half bad. I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. Yeah, I mean, overall thoughts on the show. You guys looking forward to it? Is it the show that has your attention this weekend, first and foremost, or is this one you'll catch, you know, later after the fact? What are you guys' thoughts?
Well, I don't have ESPN and I'm not buying
fair.
it. So
that's fair.
I will find a way. There are matches. The mixed tag, I'm very keen on checking out.
Yeah.
The women's title match, I'm keen to check out. I'm keen to check out highlights from Brock versus Cena and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But and then in Cody, like I think it does. There are some good matches. There's nothing outside of probably the mixed tag. There's nothing I'm like champing at the bit for.
My critique is that for this being their first ESPN show that they're going, you know, kind of crazy with, I it's not the most like compelling But I don't know if that's because I wasn't like there are elements that I'm into, but it's like I don't really care about Brock Lesnar like at all much anymore. So I'm not like that driven into whatever's happening over there. I know it's going to be okay, but I'm all right with it. Fine. Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, that's going to be incredible. So I have no doubt in my mind that is going to be like a match we'll very much going to praise. But again, like with the Usos and the Brons, that should be fun. Maybe there's some story stuff out of it. Cool. But that also feels a little bit like a Monday Night Raw match. I don't know why. It's just a kind of a vibe that I feel with it, even though it is the Usos coming back together. I hope they do the music, Uso Penitentiary. And then, you have the mixed tag match, which again is also like, yeah, that's going to be cool. But I know the highlights are going to be so much more hype than the match itself, because the match is going to have long drawn out moments and them doing their thing, and and if you're into that, then dope. But I know the highlights are going to be amazing, and then obviously we'll see what happens with the main event. Also, do you even think that the championship main events it, or is it going to be
Brock and Cena? I would imagine
Cena are main eventing it.
I think so. Yes.
Huh.
We don't know, but I would imagine.
Yeah, because
that's the marquee match of the night.
Up,
that is the headline.
When I looked it up, Brock and Cena was labeled the main event. So
yeah,
okay, that caught me off guard. But they've done it before.
Could Drew win the opening match and then come out and challenge Cena after he wins at the end?
Well, I mean,
sure.
Then there's a variety of things that could happen there, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what happens. Exciting nonetheless. WrestlePalooza this weekend, ESPN debut. We'll see how it goes. And of course, if you want to talk about it, you can join us on our Discord. You can find info for that in the description down below. All right, and as always, that takes us to our next order of business. We got TNA. Now, we are going to be gone, as we talked about before, because we're going to be taking a bit of a break, coming back in October. And when we come back, more than likely, Bound for Glory would have already happened, because Bound for Glory takes place on October 12th, which, by the way, you want to check it out? TNA Plus, come on, guys, get on it. So we're going to really just talk about the state of TNA briefly, where things are, where we would like to see them be. And I think we're all kind of alignment on what we would like to see for TNA in the future, right, as far as champions and storylines go. But there are still some compelling things, like what's going on with Joe Hendry, what's going on with the Northern Armory, obviously Elegance brand now, they have gold all up and down that faction. There was also... the inspiration in them have been kind of colliding back and forth. So Matt, why don't you go ahead and fill us in the state of where TNA is right now, and then we can discuss where we would like to see things go in the future.
Well, again, everything is all pointing towards Bound for Glory, our biggest event of the year. Some matches that we already know. The top of the barrel, undoubtedly the main event, Mike Santana versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. Trick is all spouting about his legalese. He didn't have to defend the title for 50 days, etc. after each defense. Well, Bound for Glory falls in that path. Claimed also that he was not going to be showing up on TNA until he had to defend the title. He then, this past week, jumped Mike Santana on his entrance. So that feud obviously continues. Keep your eyes on both TNA and NXT for that. Elegance brand runs the whole Knockouts division, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
And the inspiration, looking at the tag titles, we know Masha's got a rematch for the world title at Victory Road, but then waiting in the wings is Indy Hartwell, who has a match at BFG with whoever walks away with the championship in that encounter.
Yeah.
So in theory, all signs are likely pointing towards Ash by Elegance and Indy Hartwell. I don't think that's shocking anybody from a prediction standpoint. Heading into BFG. And then, I mean, we have the Nemets are still chomping at the bit of the tag team titles. Meanwhile, the Hardys are also having to worry about Team 3D. That match is official. And you're going to get some more updates on that one as we go, but we do know the match one last time is happening between those, and the Rascals are lighting up the X division.
The Nemets versus Hardys next week, I believe, for the tag titles.
Let me double check. I believe
think they
Was that not
called them
this-
out.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they faced the system this last week.
Yeah.
And so yes, they will get their title match this coming week.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting, because the Nemeths, use their rematch clause because TNA uses the rematch clause.
Yes.
So they are going to get their opportunity next week. Yeah. Anything else? I know the Rascals as well. You were talking about the Rascals.
Just the Rascals are kind of all three of them are back
Back to full
together.
strength.
Trey returned from injury, and they had a really cool, which I do from last week's show. They had a 4-way #1 contender match for the X Division title at Victory Road.
Yeah.
With all three of the Rascals competing against each other, along with Jake Something, and that match is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Just seeing them like kind of work together to take down the big guy, but then how they outdo each other because they know each other so well. Really well put together matchup with a ton of fun, creative spots that ultimately saw, which was really cool. I think Myron Reed, the lesser widely known of the Rascals, who's officially joined TNA in recent months,
Yeah.
gets his shot. He will get his shot at Victory Road against Leon Slater, and I think that match is going to bang, as the kids say.
Yeah, I am very excited for that one. He's really exciting. So
Yes.
it's going to be like very much an X Division matchup, high flying, very, very rapid, quick pace. I'm stoked for that. So that should be dope. That should be pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, so now that, we kind of know the lay of the land and where things are right now in TNA. I know we got some stuff with Frankie Kazarian, as well as Steve Macklin kind of crossing paths, which I think is fantastic. Steve Macklin, the one true champion of TNA right now, as they've been calling it, right? Yes, how you guys said, like the guy holding guard,
Kind of holds the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
holds the
he kind
line.
of is. That's the way he sees it, because our world title is
Yeah.
in other lands.
And with his whole gimmick being military base, it just works so well for him. So
Right.
it's so perfect. So Jake, yeah, I mean, what are some things you'd want to see for TNA, and coming out of Bound for Glory? What's the things you hope happens?
I want to see Mike Santana with gold around his waist.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. We've been dying for this to happen. It's been a long, arduous setup. But Mike's got to be the guy. He's got to be the guy coming out of this thing. I mean, like that's got to be the biggest thing for me. And I'll tell you the other one. I think I want to see Frankie Kazarian win the international championship.
Now I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I saw that they were like interacting with one another, I'm like, this is perfect. Like this, yes, I would love Frankie to be world champion, but the international championship is also just perfect for him to be able to really build up the King of TNA.
He can
stuff.
shape it in his own image. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
I think that would be so much fun. Him as international champion.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Especially if you go, I'm hoping for because Victory Road is around the corner, right? I believe that's
26th.
26. So are we set for a Frankie Steve Macklin match for Victory Road?
I mean, I watched the show, but yeah, we're going there. Okay. I'll let that one slip.
All right.
It's in the can. It's filmed and in the can. So the people of Minneapolis already saw it get made. But it will become official in the next few weeks.
What you guys, if you poke and prod enough, eventually you get that's journalism right there. That's good journalism.
Look how fast I caved too. Wow.
I mean, so quickly.
I mean, do not put me in any kind of high pressure scenario, right?
Yeah, like most of our government. Yeah, look, that I think will be interesting. I wouldn't hate the idea of a Frankie Kazarian being international champion going into BFG.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I think I think him retaining it, I think him holding on to it, because look, is so much of that energy has to be put toward Mike Santana defeating Trick. That needs to be the thing. That needs to be like a big moment. And I really hope that we deliver on that big moment, and it feels like it's all the stories heading in that direction. So I'm with you on that one. Matt, I would ask you what you want, but that'll be cheating. So
oh no, I want the same thing. I want to see the title come home.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Are you excited for potential, like Indy Hartwell stuff? Like any thoughts on that? Because I know you'd mentioned.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, Jake and I. Because like it's weird because Indy Hartwell's had such a strong record going in the knockouts division. I believe as of all the matches we taped at our last set of tapings, she continues to be undefeated in singles action.
Yeah.
So I imagine that'll be the same thing heading into BFG. So you'll have this kind of like undefeated streak of Indy Hartwell as a singles competitor going up against Ash by Elegance, who, I mean, has like kind of just captured this title, and I think has really come into her own as this character.
Yeah.
So it feels too early for her to drop the title. I feel like maybe this will be Indy Hartwell's first like setback.
Yeah.
And I think she maybe bounces back from it and does ultimately, she will ultimately win it. I have no doubt about it. But maybe that's in early 2026 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think this Ash reign is going to be too short, as they say. I think it's going to be a good little reign, and I think it needs to be. I think it should be.
Yeah, because we haven't had like a TNA bad guy holding that title for a minute now. Jordan Grace had it for a long time.
It has I did this with Tom at our last taping. I believe it basically has been on a babyface champion for like 2 years.
I mean, that's crazy.
It went from like Jordan to like Deanna, who was like a heel, but at that right before she left was kind of a babyface anyway.
Yeah.
To Trinity, who was a babyface, back to Jordan, who was a babyface, back to Masha, who was a babyface.
Right.
And then
now
JC Jane got it.
JC Jane, but as far as a TNA talent.
Yeah. That's crazy. So we're due for this, and she is by far the best bad guy in the division, and I would say even probably one of the only really legit bad guys right now in a division. So one other thing I wanted to talk about, one other order of business, is the Joe Hendry of it all, because you can't talk about TNA without talking about Joe Hendry. He's been running into the Northern Armory as of late with Eric Young. I look at this, I don't know the situation with Joe Hendry, but I think that if you're really trying to build up this idea of Eric Young trying to be like the cleanser of TNA, like this person who wants to, kind of like what John Moxley's doing in AEW, right? This like, I want to find the spirit of this company back, because I'm the spirit of this company, and I want to, champion it, even by hook or by crook, by good means or by bad means, whatever. I do think that this is actually a really good feud if the idea is that Eric Young's going to continue on this warpath of like trying to bring TNA back to its former glory, quote unquote. I don't know. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Agree.
I mean, there's a little bit more of it's a little less Death Rider and a little bit more like Hitlery.
And you know what?
Right? Like cleansing, like it's less about like forging the next generation and like making people better. It's more just like, I need to get rid of the people who I think are wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know the end game. I don't know that he knows the end game. It's real loose. I mean, we saw the Northern Armory implode this week as Eric Young basically kicked Judas Icarus and Travis Williams to the side after they failed to beat Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's okay, because you don't need the faction for it. It can't just be the person, like it can't just be Eric Young just deciding, I want to be this person. I want to.
Well, and it's more of just he's a crazy person.
Yeah, he's losing his shit.
Like he's absolutely losing it. This is the guy who we also had beat up a fan weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
And somehow still works here. But Like, again,
Did the
it was
fan
a
deserve
plant,
it?
but you know, like the story was he took his rage out on an actual fan
Right.
and
Yeah.
like threw him over the barricade and beat him up.
Yeah.
And for some reason is still allowed to practice his wrestling trade. And
Wild, you know.
like,
Because they're afraid of what he'll do if they fire him.
Yeah.
I guess so, right? So yeah, just absolutely
He's
nuts.
in the
I don't know what
Northern
end game
Armory.
is.
Well, I would be terrified to fire that guy too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't know what he's capable of.
Right.
I think that this is going to be one of those like, oh, you know, hopefully this goes somewhere, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's nice to have another, you know, psychotic bad guy kind of lurking about in the division. We'll see what happens. We'll keep eyes on it. And of course, it takes us to our last topic of today's show. And just a reminder that this is going to be our last show for a little while, as we have a bit of a break. We'll be back in October. So good news is we had so much wrestling to talk about this weekend. We kind of had everything laid out for us, which was quite nice. You know, it's always fun when that happens. And we've had a loaded weekend of wrestling, and I felt like, you know, might as well go with the event that announced first for their September 20th pay-per-view. But I think they've done a lot of good work building up to this card, and it's of course going to be All Out in Toronto, Canada. Toronto's been getting some good stuff lately. Good shows.
Yeah, dude.
So let's discuss. This is going to be quite the card. There's a lot of matches lined up here. Let's get overall reactions first. How much of this have you been tracking and following? Thoughts on just what we have in store for us, because we have a lot of good matches. We have a lot of ones that kind of just came up randomly, and we'll talk about those. But thoughts for All Out.
I think there's a few, again, in a very crowded AEW match card, as they often are. It's one of my lesser things I like about how they book some of their pay-per-views. But that's them. But out of that, I will say there are a good several. I'd say there's at least 3 or 4 on this that I'm very, very keen to watch.
Yeah.
Whether it's from a result or just from how I know that the match is going to be.
Yeah.
So I think overall they've come a long way from when they first brought All In back in with the first UK one where they did All Out like 2 weeks later with like no build and everything. Now it feels like they gave it the proper birth kind of between All In and All Out. So stories have built, and I thought they've done a pretty good job with a lot of them. Even ones that I wasn't initially like into, I've gotten more into. So I think it's shaping up pretty well.
I agree. There are a lot of matches I'm looking forward to here. Jake, what about for you? Thoughts?
There's several ones that I'm looking forward to storyline wise, and then like you said, there's ones that are happening. And that just, I mean, again, when you have 1,700 matches on the card, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there will be several good matches. But storyline wise, there's like 3 that I'm looking forward to probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am with it.
Yeah, I definitely want to start with so we have a lot of, as we mentioned before, we have a lot of matches primed and ready to go for this one. But I wanted to start with some of the more the ones that kind of just got tossed together a bit last second. One of those that I'm excited for, and I'm only going to just say, like, there really isn't a lot going into this, but Big Bill versus a returning Eddie Kingston. I am so stoked about, just because I'm a big fan of Eddie Kingston, have been for a while. So really much looking forward to Eddie Kingston coming back into the fray. This should be quite fun. But again, I don't really know what else comes out of this, so we'll just move past it. I'm assuming Eddie Kingston wins. I'm curious what the logic is between him and Big Bill. I'm sure there's going to be something coming out of this. There could also be some lore that I'm missing here that I'm forgetting about, but it's Eddie Kingston. He's back.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. That's it, really. He should win.
I'm very curious. I want to see what kind of legitimately, like I haven't kept up with him a ton. I know we have a lot of mutuals in common and stuff, and I know he's taken his rehab. He's hit some setbacks. I'm curious to see what kind of shape he comes back in, what kind of attitude he comes back in with, and how they handle this match. It'll be fun. Like, I agree with you. I don't think it'll be anything like overbooked or anything like that. I think it'll be pretty straight up. He'll take a beating from Big Bill, and then he'll turn it around and whoop his candy ass all over Toronto. And
pretty much,
yeah,
and that's okay.
Two New York guys. That's the story.
Two New York guys.
Two New York loudmouths
in
beating the crap out of each other. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it should be entertaining, but we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Probably Eddie wins, if I had to imagine, or there'll be some shenanigans, some interference. I wouldn't put it past him. So that's an easy one to move past. We have we'll start with for our title matches. We'll start with this one. Because this one should actually be pretty good. We're going to have Riho going up against Mercedes Moné. Someone did point out this very funny trend for Riho where she disappears for a couple months. And obviously it seems like it's because of visa things, which is out of her control.
Sure.
But she'll like disappear for a couple of months, then come back and then have a title match, and then it'll be a really good title match, and then she disappears for another 2 months, and then she comes back and then has another title match. Nothing inherently wrong, because at the end of the day, she's still inaugural AEW Women's World Champion. She's, always going to have that, and it always has the respect of everyone, and it's going to be a great matchup. I suspect Mercedes wins, but I did think that if you were to be random and pull the trigger, it could happen here.
No,
but I don't
not,
think it will.
No,
I don't think
it's
it will.
not. No, I would bet every cent that I have that Mercedes Moné.
Every bit of money that you have.
Oh
yeah. I have no doubt.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
I have no monies. No monies over here.
No monies to give for this one.
That's why it's so easy for me to bet all of it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why it's like I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. This one really did just come up out of, Riho returned, the music hit, the crowd cheered, we have a match, boom, ipso facto. Moving on though to one that does have a little bit of story heading into this, which I am quite compelled by, is a trios match that is going to see MVP back in the ring again with his boys in a Hurt Syndicate going up against the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. In the last few weeks, the Gates of Agony and Ricochet have really started to come into their own as a team. It's clear this team isn't really going anywhere. As far as they're not splitting or anything, they're sticking together. And I see, some success for them down the line. Good way also to transition a Hurt Syndicate away from the tag team title scene. So, that was kind of a good stopgap here. And it's very clear they want these guys to be good guys. So, perfect to have them go up against Ricochet. I just want to point out the irony, though, of the crowd chanting "you're bald" at Ricochet as an insult, wherein 3 of the 3 competitors in the other team are also bald.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting how that works? Just selective bald shaming. It can happen, guys.
Oh,
I
know. We know.
we know.
GB.
That's right. We know.
We know.
I don't know who wins this. I want to say
Hurt Syndicate next.
I'm not too clear on that one.
Hurt Syndicate.
Gates of Agony have lost a fair amount to Hurt Syndicate in the past, and it's clear that Ricochet and them will be doing some nefarious things to try and get the win. And I don't think it's going to be MVP doesn't need to have his hand raised. He can be the one that loses the match for them. I don't know. Something tells me
I agree.
That's where
I agree. I think this is a classic. I think I agree with you as it should.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what's going to happen.
And it could.
could. Yeah, I think with MVP returning, I think they're going to make it like a rah-rah of we're all stronger together, blah, 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 kind of thing.
That's fair.
That's just it.
That's
what I think.
I am sad that we're not going to have an episode next week, just because this is one that I'd be willing to bet on. I'd be willing to. I think Ricochet gets Agony to get the win.
I think they could. I think they should. I just don't know that they will. But I do think it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
I do.
Now we have another fun one that got confirmed on Collision that I want to make sure I have a graphic before I do. Thank you, Scan. Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a new match format, the TNT match, tables and tacks. And I am a fan. I like that we got a new match format that is cool. Tables and tacks is a great name. Also TNT, so it works for their whole branding and all that bullshit. This has been a long. This match has a lot of story. They have been building this over the course of weeks. So I'm expecting this one to be a violent matchup. Mark Briscoe has been having to deal with MJF constantly belittle his brother week in and week out. MJF is the new light heavyweight CMLL champion, which he has dubbed the World Championship, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, so he calls himself the CMLL World Champion.
Yeah, he calls himself the CMLL World Champion, even though he holds the light heavyweight championship. It's not the same one, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. The belt's not on the line. That doesn't matter. This is purely a blood feud match. I think Mark Briscoe wins this. And I think he should win this. And I think MJF should continue to just experience some more losses. Because, you know, like, he's going to win the belt eventually. And I do just feel like this is all like just cast distraction. Just to keep us away from the scent of MJF eventually getting that belt away from Hangman. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it makes sense for Mark Briscoe to win? Do you think that MJF should pick up the dub here? Are you fine either way?
I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm fine either way. I just don't know what they do with Briscoe. I don't know where Briscoe's going after this. We have a path for MJF.
Yeah.
But we don't have one for Briscoe. That's the only thing. So I feel like it makes more sense for the oh man, shit. I don't know.
Briscoe is on a this might be out of left field and I don't know, but something tells me that Briscoe is going to do that he's going to hit his stride for the Continental Classic when they bring that back. And he will go through the kind of like the King of the Bums story that Eddie Kingston went through, where he was like, you know, putting all his belts up and all this stuff. And I think it's going to be kind of a similar thing. Because remember, they have done for years now, Mark Briscoe's been entering into the Continental and he loses all the time. And it's always like a story point. They always like build off of it with him losing and him regaining his confidence back. And then he goes back into the
him going in with momentum.
I think him going in with momentum, him potentially like him scraping by and him beating the best tournament wrestler of all time in Okada, I think could actually be compelling. Because
that would be a very good story. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where I would like to see it go. And matches like this kind of help Mark to just continue to establish himself as like a main event player because, bro, people love this guy. He is so popular with the AEW audience. He's got that real Mick Foley energy about him. You know, people gravitate to him instantly. So I don't know. That's where I would like to see it go. Or maybe he falls short. I don't know, but there could be.
I just want to see a kickboxer moment. I want to see the hand wraps, glue, and thumbtacks. Yeah. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see and then see them fight in this match. That's what if we don't have a kickboxer reference, I'm going to be real
upset. Them to use the thumbtacks in creative ways. I agree. Don't just lay them out on the ground. We know that spot's coming. You know, I would like to see them on
there is some intern or PA right now who is just meticulously hot gluing thumbtacks on tables right now.
Oh yeah, you know there's going to be a thumbtack table.
Guarantee you.
Dude,
has to be.
Random aside, but for Valorant, we have like a whole bunch of PAs who work at the studio. They're all awesome. And one of them, we had these like golden balls for the draw show where we determined which teams are going to face who are champions. And she was outside painting the golden balls and she had no face mask and she's just painting them. And I was like, kid, you got to put on a face mask. You're going to be huffing glue. She's like, honestly, GB, I'm already too far in. And, you know,
I'm too far gone.
honestly, it's not that bad when you get used to it. I was like, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that. So I just imagine some intern huffing glue. They're just gluing the little thumbtacks on. Oh, bless them. Yeah, wear face masks if you ever mess with
Listen,
glue.
Listen. I used to help when I was a kid. I used to help my dad paint the lines and numbers on the football field every Thursday before a home football game. And we didn't masks. And see, I turned out just fine.
You turned out great, Jay. Nothing wrong with you.
I turned out just fine.
Nothing wrong with you at all.
No.
No, that should be good. Yeah, I think Briscoe. I'm fine calling Briscoe for the win. Are we all aligned, or is there?
I'm going MJF.
Going MJF. Why?
Because of what Jake said. I think your story idea is cool. I don't think that's where they're going. I don't think there is a direction for Mark Briscoe right now, other than like he's a likable guy who deserves a good match, but. I think MJF so the flip side of it is to counter my own argument. I love doing that. So I think me and Jake are of this idea that like, yeah, MJF he's got a clear path. So why wouldn't you go with that guy? That said, why wouldn't you give the babyface who had his actual family like name thrown in the dirt, get his comeuppance? Yeah. So I'm gonna talk myself out of it.
Because MJF
could lose, because he's got the contract
because
so he can immediately be thrown into the main event anytime he wants.
Has the contract,
without momentum or without kind of a through line.
You can also argue that since this is the match that Mark Briscoe created, so you can argue that he's got that advantage over MJF too. I mean, honestly, I'm not upset with either of them winning.
Tax. It's not exactly.
I know it's
strategical move.
Right? No, I know, but like
there was some science that was put into the.
I always loved. I always loved the things like that where it's like they've done these tables matches because they use tables a lot. It's like, but we all use tables. We're wrestlers.
Territory. Like, you're like, wait, what?
Like Edge and Christian got the advantage in a chairs match. It's like you're just swinging pieces of metal.
But that's how you know
we all
you
have
made
the
it,
advantage.
That's how you know you made it when like you're like, oh, this team has an advantage in insert random stipulation match
because it's associated with them.
Yeah. Like the Hardys have an advantage in a ladder match. How?
They've only won like
Jeff Hardy
6 or 7 of them in their 30 years.
Ladder, and he's gone for the entirety of the match. I don't think that they have much of an advantage. I hope this isn't the end of it or just where it goes, but we have our pre-show match set up, which is, I don't have a graphic for it, but it's going to be Tornado Tailgate, which interestingly will be on TNT, because the difference for All Out is that this is going to be the first pay-per-view that will be on HBO Max, which is awesome. And I'm very much looking forward to that as an HBO Max subscriber who loves HBO Max, and hope that Skydance doesn't buy it and ruin it like everything else, but we'll see. So this is going to be good, and it'll be on TV.
Paramount.
It's going to be on cable. So that'll be kind of cool. We got Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Megan Bain, Penelope Ford. This is just going to be craziness across the board. I think the bad guys win. I really, don't really see much in there, but we'll see. I don't know if you guys have any predictions, any one way or another. I would care. No,
I agree. Bad guys win.
Yeah, I think it's just more interesting for the bad guys to win, especially with Mina on the prowl and Willow. Who knows what's going on with Willow? Something's got to go down over there. We could also be in for a big character change, because we saw a big character change happen in the next match that we're going to talk about. It's not directly related, but it's somewhat. And that is Darby Allin versus, in another one of our stipulation matches, Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. And there's a big ripple to this, because Daniel Garcia has joined the Death Riders. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. How you feeling? You know, because this was a pretty big development that had occurred.
I like it a lot,
like it.
actually.
Yeah.
There was a
I like it if it
should've-
sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a tweet I shared in our writer's room. I should have brought it forward. It was way back. But where somebody talked about when Moxley was first like getting in Garcia's ear, right? You know,
Yeah.
after they had their match and everything. What kind of pointed out, like, this is kind of the Moxley I was expecting at the beginning of the Death Riders.
Yeah.
When he was talking about like changing this place into like finding the real fighter. That's what it was all about. And they just kind of turned into a chicken shit heel group.
Yeah.
So like this is like molding young talent, impressionable talent, trying to get him to fight his way and recruit like an army of these young unmolded, kind of still rough around the edges talents who haven't found their potential yet, and getting in their ear. So I like it. I like it. I'm happy to see where it goes. It feels like Darby needs the win since coming back. It's his first big marquee singles match since returning.
Yeah. And Moxley doesn't need the win. I think he's chilling.
No,
He's been winning a lot. Like every match he's been in, he's been winning on TV. So very much establishing still that he is like a threat. But Darby needs to win. And it's a coffin match. So you kind of need him to have his
Who cares?
advantage.
We've all used coffins before, GB.
But I was going to say, like, you know, it's kind of his thing, you know? So I like that. We were literally just talking about it, which I think is ironic.
Was his last coffin match the one with Jungle Boy? And didn't he lose
I think so. Yeah.
at All In 2 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
So, true. I mean, yeah, it feels like he needs to win, but then it's also Darby. So I feel like Daniel Garcia comes in, he takes some stupid bump and they throw him into the casket. I don't know.
Yeah. And honestly, that also wouldn't be all that bad too, because, you know, you kind of get Darby and Garcia and Mox in this like weird picture here where maybe, you know, you get like a Sting cameo where he gets to come in and give some motivation, where Darby can take like some, maybe Darby can convince Wheeler Yuta, you know, this guy bailed on you first opportunity he got. Like I think Wheeler is also going to play a role in this. Like I think what's really nice about Darby Allin and Jon Moxley is that both of these guys are just so good at being put into practically anything, and they're gonna find a way to make it work one way, shape, or form. Even if it's not like that great, they'll still find a way out of it. And I respect that, and it's something I like about both of them. Like as we're talking, like, does Darby need a win? No. Does Mox need a win? No. That's what makes this compelling, because both wrestlers can lose and can win, and it will be fine either way, because they're telling obviously a much bigger story here than just wins and losses between the two of them. And it's just a great way to kind of silo those guys right now, while there's so much going on with the TNT title and the Don Callis family, because we haven't even touched on the Don Callis family yet. And they're very isolated from all of that. So yeah, we'll see. And I would also like an opportunity for the Death Riders to maybe rejuvenate their the faction, and we get a Death Riders versus Don Callis family thing maybe down the line. That could be kind of cool, like a la Wyatt's New Day. You know, remember when that whole thing spun around? The Shield Wyatt's, like
If one of them playing heel.
Yeah,
or one of them playing face, I mean?
Yeah. Like, I would like to see the Death Riders maybe, you know, get there over time, because
I feel
everything
like
that Moxley's doing and saying isn't bad guy shit. He's beating people up, but he's telling you to stand up for yourself. He's telling you to, you know, like, don't take no for an answer. Make a name. Exactly. You know, kind of, you can do it. And it's wrestling. You can do anything.
And Don Callis isn't a baby face. I don't care any which way you throw it.
Yeah.
So that ain't ever
will never be a baby face. So you're comfortable knowing that will always be a constant. Adam Copeland, Christian Cage versus FTR. I would go as far as to say one of the matches that were kind of like the I don't want to say the marquee, but one that, you know, it was the first match that was confirmed for the show that kind of got everyone really amped about it. Canada's own, you know, Cope and Cage getting together.
If the Canadians lose this one,
we riot, right?
What was the point? I send it back.
Yeah, I send it back. I send it back. We have to send it back. FTR don't need a win. So I think that's fine. Yeah, Cope and Cage. How badly does Stokely get it?
Real bad. I was literally just thinking that same like, yeah, something needs to happen because that so-called match that he had with Cope was so funny.
It was hilarious.
He's so great in this role.
Very, very interesting.
How can you not like Stokely?
Do we see more team things with Cope and Cage that can give us an idea of maybe they go for a tag team run together? Do we get more in this story between Cope and Cage, between the two of them? I don't know. Like,
I think the story is going to be like, cause they gotten on the same page, but like, it's still not like we love each other, right? It's still a little tenuous. They're like, we have a common enemy. Let's kind of get the band back together to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But so I think the story of the match will be similar of like, all right, we're going to try to work together, but it's going to not really work. And that's where FTR will take advantage. But ultimately in the end, they will come together, hit their greatest hits. You know, my spicy take is I think we get a 5-second pose.
Oh. I was literally going to say that. I think we're getting a pose.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a quick wink where they just like do something and do like a little.
Here's my other prediction. I think Stokely's going to get hit with a concerto.
Probably.
That is going to be the thing that kind of puts Stokely away from
I think he's getting speared and
unprettier,
kill switched.
Yeah, kill switched. I think fine. Then all right. GB says concerto. You say double finishers. Both. I think. We call back to some OG Edge and Christian or Edge Cope and Cage, and I think he gets spiked to the nuts.
Ooh.
Just like Christian did way back when.
Spike would be
it's a little out of left field, but that's going to be my
Spike back. So, you know, Cope brought Spike back, so there'd have to be a little presence there somehow. Go for it, Jake. Sorry.
Or Stokely just wets his pants.
That also,
yeah.
I think that would be he just pees himself.
It'll be funny no matter how you look at it. It'll be funny no matter what. Yeah. This one definitely.
Shout out Drake Maverick.
Oh my God, that was such a. I remember that. I think this will be a fun one, but it would be shocking if FTR wins. But it would be perfect for them being like big bad guys to pick up the win too.
But either way, you know, this is going to be a match that like everyone involved is so excited.
Yeah.
They've been dying to do this for years.
Yeah.
And like, this is just one of those where I just feel like everyone in there is just going to be so giddy.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much like you can feel like those are some of the best matches where you can feel the people involved are having fun and like really into it. And I think this is going to be one of those matches. This is going to be one of those matches.
Goosebumps,
know?
brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm very, very excited for this one. So we think it'll be Cope and Cage. If it's not, we expect a riot, but I think that would benefit FTR's story. It also wouldn't be all that bad if Stokely gets hit with a concerto, thus leading to more friction between FTR and Cope and Cage. That could also be, you know, I don't think this is going to be a one and done. I think there's going to be a little bit more, you know, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that because these are two. I mean, FTR is just by far just one of the most exciting. One of my favorite tag teams to watch. They're so fun. Like every match always has like some way that they try to, you know, really incorporate their brand of tag team wrestling into it. Always quick, always intense. The guys just go all the time. And then you throw that in with Cope and Cage, which is going to be fun. If we get the hits, I'm down with the hits. All the hits and nothing but the hits. Our unified championship up for grabs here. This is going to be another interesting one, and I know that people may not think it initially, but I do genuinely believe this is going to be an interesting one. So we're going to find out the third competitor. The third competitor is not going to matter all that much because it's more than likely going to be Beast Mortos. So if I had to imagine,
I was going to say it doesn't matter because it's Okada who's going to win. I thought that's where you were going.
Here's the thing. This is why I think it's interesting. Guys, it's happening. It's freaking happening. We're going to get Konosuke Takeshita versus Okada. It's going to happen. It has to happen. It's being teased so much. They're in the same group, but yet they're going to be fighting for the same title. They have to interact with one another. They have to cross paths with one another. There has to be friction in the Don Callis family. And this matchup is going to do it. And it's going to happen in a couple of ways, I think, right? So we know that when it comes down to the unified title, it operates under continental rules. So there's going to be no interference from the outside, right? Now, because of that, guys, Okada's going to expect Takeshita to let him win. And Takesha's not going to let Okada just win. And that's where things are going to get spicy. Because we've seen these two guys interact. I've been calling it for weeks now. We've seen the staring down. They've never really liked one another. Okada comes into the family. Takesha's kind of just like, okay, whatever. He goes off, wins the G1. He's not here for Okada's shenanigans. And now he's going to be in this matchup where the odd man out could very well find an opportunity, or is the target. But I could see a world where Takeshita has it won. He has Beast Mortos pinned, and then Okada comes in, throws Takeshita out, gets to pin himself.
I can see something like that.
And that is going to lead to the friction, and that is going to lead to Takeshita being like, "No, dude, screw you. I had this thing won, and you took it from me." And ipso facto, they're fighting. That's where I think this is leading, which is why I'm so excited for this matchup. And it's also going to bang. Because Beast Mortos, actually Beast Mortos and Máscara Dorada are both phenomenal. So if they're both in the matchup, great third person folly for like whatever the hell antics they want to do in the match.
For sure.
But that's why I think the story goes. Thoughts?
So when you initially said it, I was like, there ain't no way they're going to have, and I don't know. There ain't no way like Okada's going to actually like tell Takeshita to lay down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Anything like that. However, I don't think they're brave enough to do it. Especially because they kind of do have to think about it. Again, Takeshi's a G1 winner, New Japan to think about. But there is a little part of me from a story standpoint would love to see a little bit of a veteran. They're both veterans at this point, but Okada, these far more tenured veterans, kind of giving him the young boy treatment of stand aside. And then Don Callis being like, for this one match, like, you're going to get yours, Takeshita. You're going to get yours.
He's going to be out there in commentary.
Of course. And so kind of giving me a little bit, and then we really give us that low man of like that boiling Takeshita of like, okay, I will do it to like maintain the peace, but we want to see him explode and get that real baby face turn when he finally punches Don Callis and or Okada in the face. Kind of like, Daniel Bryan, Wyatt family kind of thing, where it's just, he's kind of handcuffed, to follow the orders sort of thing, but then eventually breaks free. It would be cool to see something like that start forming.
Yeah, but it does feel like no matter what, we're going to some kind of friction between Takeshita and Okada. What that looks like, I don't know, but Don Callis will be caught in the middle, and he will have to pick sides. He built the Don Callis family off the back of Konosuke Takeshita. The Alpha literally was his start. Like, it was not the start of the Don Callis family. Actually, no, I think it was the start of the Don Callis family. It was like him.
Or pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting down to like who he grabbed him and then had him beat Kenny. And then he beat Kenny, and then from there he just added Kyle Feltcher. He had Will Ospreay. Like the family started to grow, and now it's to the point where like naturally he's going to have to make some of these decisions. That I think is fun, and it's going to be compelling. And he's going to have a busy night because he's got another guy out there in a match, and we'll talk about that one later. But Okada wins, right? Okada wins, but we get some story. Jake, you subscribe to that as well?
Okada wins.
Okada wins. I love it. Do you guys think they should have the Women's Championship main event this one, or do you feel like there's enough for the men's world championship?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
no offense. This women's title match, it just has no real story.
Yeah,
it's for hot fire women's wrestlers in the company. We talked a little bit last week. It's kind of Tony just being like, screw it, I'll fight everybody kind of thing. So I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll be wild. I actually do think there's a small chance Tony could drop the title here, because I think she's kind of maybe gone off the deep end and trying to fight too many people.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-way scenario. I don't truly think that'll happen, but it could. But no, this is not like the marquee match of the show.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the main event in any stretch.
The only wild card for me in this matchup is Chris Statlander. She's the only wild card here for me. She's kind of been in this story with Moxley, where Moxley's telling her, like, go after it. When you see an opportunity, take it. And what better opportunity than to have your eyes set on the world title? And maybe there's, a particular toxic spider who doesn't quite like her and doesn't quite like Jamie Hayter, and could, end up going a little too far with her triangle of madness, thus giving an opportunity for Statlander to kind of swoop in, and because I am interested in that if they decide to go that route, or Chris Statlander saw an opportunity to take the title and was like, nah, this isn't the right thing to do, and then backs away but loses out on it. I don't know, but there has been some subliminal messaging with Chris Statlander over the course of the last few weeks that lead me to believe something could happen with her in this matchup that kind of dictates, her trajectory one way or another. And like you said, if you were to have someone randomly drop the title on in this matchup, I think Chris Statlander is probably the best option right now. Especially with Willow Nightingale and all the stuff going on with them, and even what's her face. Although I don't think it would be a good idea, but Mina Shirakawa, not Mina Shirakawa, oh my God, Marina Shafir. They've had so many crossovers as well. So I don't know. Thoughts, opinions? No? Yes? Yay? No?
I think the one thing that you're forgetting is that if anyone in this match has extensive experience in 4-ways, it's Toni Storm. I mean, and I'll just leave it at that.
She'll tell you.
Are you talking about the matches or?
He said 4-ways.
Okay,
I said what I said.
You said what you said. Makes sense. Okay, yeah. I am sorry, I didn't mean to question. But yeah, that's really just my like, not wishful thinking, but just like if they were to go, but also could just end up being just a really good match. It's a 4-way. Maybe we are going to get the Triangle of Madness like interfering for sure. So the Toms are showing up. Tom Hannafin's guild of angry ladies will appear, and we'll see how that kind of plays out. Or maybe it just leads to more Tekla versus Toni Storm, which I'm also okay with. Sure. If that gives us like a singles match between Tekla and Toni Storm, kind of like a way to get her into the title picture, so to speak. Last matchup, and it's going to be a doozy. I'm honestly kind of excited for it. It will be Kyle Feltcher, our TNT champion, going up against Hangman Adam Page, the men's world heavyweight champion. This is not one where Hangman loses. This is, I think, more... We get to see Kyle Feltcher versus Hangman, which I think is just going to be a really good matchup. But this is kind of like the first touch of the Don Callis family starting to get their hands in the title picture.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is going to be the end of Don Callis getting his opportunity to try and take the one belt he wants. I don't think there's going to be, title changing hands or anything like that. But what do you guys want to see out of this matchup? Is there anything you want to see out of this matchup?
So the one thing we could see, I mean, this pay-per-view could be the start of big time splinters in the Don Callis family from two of its main guys. Takeshita, we already talked about. And then, I mean, there's a world, I mean, they already put the kind of stip in here. Leave the Don Callis family in the back. Face me man, quote, man on man, as Kyle Feltcher put it.
Yeah.
Very specifically, not one-on-one or mano-a-mano, man-on-man action.
Don't question.
And
Tony also has experience in that.
Yeah.
yes. But I think there could be a world where these two just have a fucking banger. I mean,
undoubtedly. Yeah.
Replace Hangman versus Will Ospreay from Double or Nothing. I mean, Kyle Feltcher could fill in for a Will Ospreay style match so easily. He's that level.
Yeah.
So like these two are just gonna have a banger like that. And then I could see a thing where it's a handshake. Like, kid, you earned this. You didn't, it wasn't your night, but holy crap, that was great. Maybe you're a little bit better than those cronies you got in the back. And maybe Kyle Feltcher starts thinking about that. And maybe does the splinter maybe just starts to form a little bit. Even I'm not saying a babyface turn, but like just the first initial, because I think we're going to get there eventually with how good Kyle Feltcher is.
And also there was the very obvious like Don Callis getting a little too crazy with their relationship with the painting and everything like that. Like, bring that back. Like, I just want them to lean into that even more. So it was so silly. Do more of that and get Kyle really questioning like, wait a minute, I've accomplished a lot of this stuff. Like, I'm good. What do I need Don for? Like, I kind of want to see that potentially come up. Jake, what about for you?
I could see, I think Paige could win by DQ. And I think it could be because someone who is not technically in the Don Callis family, maybe interfering in the match on their behalf, maybe someone that Don's recruiting. I don't have a name. I don't have a person. But I'm just saying, like, I could even see like, well, hey, technically he's not in the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
So he could go out to ringside. And then I could see Kyle Feltcher being like, you lost me that match. I didn't need help. And you lost me that
finish
match.
is a tough sell on a main event, though.
I know it is. I
get where you're coming from, though.
But let me go ahead and add on. Let me yes and you here, because there's two guys. There's two guys that are kind of like really looking for their opening. Could the Young Bucks maybe at the behest of of good old Don, who they've been talking lately, and they came into some money, and we know that the Young Bucks need some money. Because did they win the $500,000?
Yes, and then they blew it at the
that
casino,
match,
from what I understand.
Yeah, and they blew it on the casino. So they could be desperate, which also would be another bankrupt Corbin type situation, which would be really funny. But they could be desperate, go into the matchup, help out, and end up screwing things up. But because Don Callis is so obsessed with getting the Young Bucks on his side because he hates Kenny Omega. I don't know, man. I would really like to see them explore that, because they have so much lore and so much history between all of them that there really is just a mess of ways you can go with that. And then to your point, they're not technically in the Don Callis family, but and they have interfered in matches with Hangman in the past, and they have had problems with him. So we'll see. That will be very good. But I'm expecting this to be just a fun weekend of wrestling. All around should be pretty good. There's a GCW show this weekend as well that I'm looking forward to checking out. It's over here in LA. I was thinking about going, not too sure. So let us know what you think of All Out, our predictions, who you think's going to win, who you think loses. Sound off in the comments down below. Make sure you join us on Discord as well to discuss the pay-per-view as it happens. All right, and of course that takes us to our final segment, and it will be for a little while because we're going on a bit of a break until October. It's the next Reebok 24/7. That's not the graphic. Champion of the week. This is, of course, the person, place, or thing, whatever brought us joy. Had to drink some water there because I almost messed up my throat. throughout the week, and it's been a trying week for sure. Lots of craziness in the world. So let's go ahead and start things off. Let me see. Well, you know what? I will say mine first because mine is pretty straightforward. I want to give mine to the Metropolitan Transit Authority of New York City. Having been to New York this week, I miss the subway. I miss trains. I miss getting around the city whenever I wanted to. I started my day off in Brooklyn. I went to go see my dad in Manhattan. I then just went a quick skip over the bridge, took a quick cab over the bridge and made my way into the Bronx, saw my nephew, saw my brother, came back down, took the train to downtown Manhattan where I went to Astor Place to go have dinner with my friends and then hopped back on the train and went to Brooklyn to my comfy bed at my mother-in-law's home. And only in New York can you have just such a fun day, just going all across the city because it's amazing. It's the best city in the world. Sorry, Chicago. And
I was gonna say we got trains, we got buses, bitch.
Yeah, there's cabs.
No, but honestly, I just miss the train. I miss it so much.
I can understand that.
And having been there and then living in LA and then landing here and be like, oh, let's take the no, there's no train because politicians suck. And yeah, so that's that's my 24/7 champion of the week, the New York City subway system. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Mine's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
I have a feeling I know what yours is.
Oh yeah, you probably already do. But Borderlands 4, man. It is a freaking blast. I got into it. I had friends recently get me into the franchise, like within the last year. So I played a bunch of 2 on my own and a little bit of 3 just to kind of try the gameplay out. And so I'm like, oh, this is cool. So to be here live for a launch, and I'm excited for the end game stuff to come. But it's all, if you've ever played it, it's looter shooter heaven. I'm a big looter shooter fan, and I think they really hit the nail on the head with this one. It's funny without being cringeworthy, and the Lootapalooza, I will say, yeah, with all the different guns you can get and everything like that. It's a really good time. I'm having fun with it. So
it seems like it's just good call to the classic of just like, hey, go in here, shoot stuff up, get a cool gun, move on to the next area. Fun story
with a bunch of new cool systems and gameplay stuff that just make it even more seamless experience. So
would you is this like a replacement for Destiny for you in that regard?
We're gonna see, like I said, I've never been here for like when Borderlands like adds in, like end game content, raid bosses, all that similar kind of looter shooter thing that normally I would do in Destiny. And Destiny is in a particularly bad spot right now. They have some horrible PR and some really bad releases. So their next big chance is in December. So for the next few months, I am all claptrap.
I find that part of the gaming space to be so interesting. It's like, to me, it's like if the game isn't good, I just don't play it and I just move on. But there's like a real dedication to Destiny because of like how much time people spend playing that game.
How much time and like it's tough because
that was built around it.
Yeah, when it hits, it hits. When it works, like there's still no FPS experience. Like as far as just the quality of it, it's just that the systems in the game right now suck, but the actual like playing of it is always tops. It's just
it's just all the other stuff.
Just stuff.
All the stuff.
All the other stuff that surround it that make it really hard. But I'm having a good time with something new.
All right, cool. Jake, what about for you, bud?
These are trying times.
I know.
These are trying times, and we need consistency. We need something that like we can all rally around to say that just all of us as people can come together and rally around and say there is still good in the world.
Hit me with it.
That's why I nominate that we have our first ever repeat 24/7 champion Reese's Oreos
You know what?
are so good, bro. Look, I went
want
to
'em.
a party. I went to a party this weekend, and I saw someone had out just regular peanut butter Oreos, and I was like, "Let me learn you a little something here." Did you know that there are Reese's Oreos? And someone else said, "I have 2 boxes of those in my car. Are they that good? I saw them at the store." He's like, "Should I bring one up?" And I was like, "Only if you want it to disappear." And it was the talk of the party.
Oh
It's all
man,
anybody was talking about. These are heaven.
crazy.
These are heaven.
the filling.
it
Is,
almost
the filling
makes-
is Reese's. The filling
the-
is Reese's.
Is Reese's peanut buttery cream with
Okay.
little Oreo crumbs in the
So it's like the
in the cream.
Oreo cream, but in peanut buttery form.
Yeah. And people in our Discord have been trying to find them because they're
Yeah.
sold out in a lot of stores.
Yeah.
They almost make this timeline worth it. If this is what we had to do to get to this point right
Jesus.
here,
Considering
it's-
some of the thing.
it's almost worth it.
I guess
That's how
so.
good those cookies are.
All right, I support it. You know what, Jake? I think it's time we
I'm
give
with it.
Our
Reese's-
first ever.
I haven't even had
Our first ever 2-week in a row champion.
Back
Reese's
to back.
winning it 2 weeks in a row. What a way to close things out. Honestly, it's better this way. It's
So
better
technically,
this way.
you're
Trust us.
champion for the next potential month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
That's
Reese's.
true.
These guys,
Someone please inform
Reese's, Oreo
HQ.
Reese's, whatever.
Please let
Yeah.
Oreo HQ that they have
Nabisco.
won this prestigious award.
Yeah.
And we await their message in response. We look forward to getting their acceptance video to play it on air.
Yes.
That's going to do it for us, guys. We thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's going to suck that there's a little bit of a break, but I think it's good. We've been cranking out, we're well over 100 episodes at this point. We were cranking them out multiple times a week. We've been doing this a lot. This is our first break. It's kind of like a little reset. Give us time. I want to reorganize things, make things a little bit better for us, more streamlined for us.
We're gonna rebooked.
We're gonna rebook, and again, I cannot stress enough. If you guys have ideas and ways you want us to approach the show, please let us know. There is no overarching, like, look, the core of it is we like to be positive. We talk about wrestling, we talk about the storylines, and we don't talk about any of the backstage garbage. It doesn't interest me. That's what I built it off of. It doesn't interest the two of these guys. That's why we don't waste our time with it. If you want that kind of a fun, inclusive experience, listening to pro wrestling commentary, this is the place to be. And if it's something you enjoy, tell your friends about it. And you have an opportunity to help us out, to kind of dictate things that we can do to make this better. Do you want it in a podcast format? Do you prefer just episodes released like, random videos? Or, let us know. We want to hear from you. How do you take in Rebook? How do you listen to Rebooked? Whether it's leave comments for us on the podcast platforms where you are listening to this, so we can get some feedback there. It always helps. So thank you, and thank you to everyone for joining us on this wild ride. We'll be back in October with more Rebooked, and we cannot wait because so much is going to happen between now and then. So we'll be keeping track of everything, and of course, if you want to stay connected with us, the best way to do so is to join our Discord community. You can find that in the description down below, or you can check us out at rebookpod.com. Type that into your browser and you'll find us everywhere we post and everything that we do. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in October. Peace.